Hello, all you do-it-yourself artists of the sewing machine. As I do have planned in the coming weeks to do a couple of sewing videos for you with the shirring techniques, I would like to explain this in a short video today to you, what is the easiest and best way how to do it with the elastic thread in your bobbin. So here we go. So to do your shirring with an elastic thread and the elastic thread in the bobbin, the technique, I give you my advice how I do it. This is my normal spool and the bobbin to go with it. And I only use this particular one for my normal threads. I never use this for an elastic thread. That's why I advise you, buy yourself, if you don't have one already, a second bobbin. Because on the bobbin you should adjust the tension of the elastic thread. And this I don't like to do on my normal bobbin. I'm glad when it works perfectly and I don't like to fiddle around with it and later on if I go back to my normal thread I got a problem. No, this is my normal bobbin with my normal thread and that's what I'm using it for and for nothing else. So, as I said, get yourself a second bobbin, which is the very best to do that with. Then, to work with this elastic thread, it's best to wind it on by hand, not with your machine. Do it with a slight tension, not too tight and not totally loose that it halfway falls off the spool. This is not correct either. So a certain tension you need when you wind this on by hand. Then put it in your separate extra bobbin and pull it in the slot for the tension. This can be more difficult on some or easier on some other ones. You see, I really have to pull it in. Then do a little test. It still has to easily pull the spool while you're putting a slight tension on here. That would be correct. Then put it in your machine exactly as you're being advised by the company where you bought the machine from. And now, with a loose thread from the above, pull your elastic thread towards the top. You should have about 10-15 centimeters left out here, as I prepared one already here for you, which I did two seams with it to show you how this will look in a moment. I do the rest here for you. So we need this to later on maybe pull it a little bit in or to pull the upper thread to the left side and to make a knot to finish it off. Why I mainly use this extra bobbin to repeat this again is so I never have to change my tension on my main spool that I use. And the way I'm doing this now, by having the tension on the bobbin in the bottom slightly looser than on the normal one, I do not even touch my above thread tensioner. I leave this exactly as it is, because that's usually how it automatically works anyway, very, very well. So leave your threads hanging out. Maybe you mark yourself where you like to do this particular shirring technique on which clothes or whatever you want to stitch with, and just go along the line you marked, or if you have a guide here, go along with the guide. But as I said before, I will do some works with this shirring technique very soon for you, and you will see how you can use it then. Now at the end, do not stitch back and forwards, exactly the same what you did not do in the beginning, because the machines don't really like to work with this rubber, and if you do a back and forward stitching, it can happen very easy that your upper thread will just rip, and that's what you don't want. So then just pull it out, hold it here tight when you pull it out so you don't disturb this seam you have there, and leave again some leftovers to be able to pull this onto the left side, because then we can put some nuts in there when we're finished with the job. But I show you a second one right away. Put all those threads out of the way, because you don't want to stitch over it, otherwise you can't put some proper knots in it. Let's say you want a 1 centimeter in between space there. Now this you slightly have to pull to get it flat, otherwise you're putting some folds in which you don't want. Just stitch along, usually exactly to the same length as you did your first one. And pull it out and leave some space for pulling the upper thread to the left side and do some knots. Of course you can continue this depending on what you're doing as far as you want to, the nicer it gets. It really, really looks nice. Another hint, before you do a next long line that you're stitching, check your spool, because as you can see, mine is actually empty. I could have done a little short seam with it again, but I wouldn't even try that, because I'm bound to have to open it up. I rather wind some new elastic thread by hand around my spool, and then I can do the next job. So please try this on just a little piece of material first before you really work with it on something you want to finish off later. And watch my next coming up videos and you will see some ideas what you can do with such kind of shearing techniques with the elastic thread in your bobbin. Hope you enjoyed this little one. See you around next time. Bye.